We begin today with tragic news coming from Australia. The nation is in shock after a deadly shooting at Sydney's Bondi Beach during Hanukkah celebrations that claimed at least 16 lives. On Sunday evening, as families gathered to mark the first day of Jewish festival Hanukkah, two armed men opened fire on the crowd, turning a peaceful celebration into a scene of panic and bloodshed. What followed was chaos, courage and a massive emergency response as bystanders and first responders rushed to save lives. Authorities have called the incident a terror attack, saying it targeted Jewish Australians on the first day of Hanukkah. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese described the shooting as devastating, saying the trauma and loss for families is beyond comprehension.
What we saw yesterday was an act of pure evil, an act of terror, an act of anti-Semitism. An attack on the first day of Hanukkah, targeted at the Jewish community. A dark day in Australia's history on what should have been a day of light. We are stronger than the cowards who did this. And I want to conclude finally by saying that the government is prepared to take whatever action is necessary. Included in that is the need for tougher gun laws.
Police said one of the gunmen, a 50-year-old man, was killed at the scene, while his 24-year-old son is in a critical condition in hospital. The suspect held a firearms licence and 6 weapons were found at the scene. 2 active rudimentary explosive devices were also discovered, which did not detonate. The attack occurred at around 6:47 p.m. local time on December the 14th. Near the Bondi Pavilion during a Jewish Hanukkah event with more than 1,000 people present. And witnesses described hearing a long series of gunshots and seeing 2 black-clad men shooting into the crowd.
I ran onto the beach. I guess everyone ran onto the beach. It was pretty terrifying. And yeah, I eventually went back to see what was happening. A few people helped a few old people get up and get out of there, but it was like there were lots of bodies on the floor. It was a fenced-in event, so it's kind of like I don't know, fish in a barrel. Like the guy had I think of what I've been told, he had an automatic rifle, big gun, standing on the bridge, and just target practice. It was a Hanukkah event. It was a Jewish event. It was full of grandparents and grandchildren celebrating their religious event together. It was a community event. I was walking next to it, and then there was, I guess, a series of shots. It ended up being, I think, a few hundred shots.
Australia has long prided itself on being a safe country, with some of the strictest gun laws in the world. However, despite these strict laws and decades of reform, this attack has raised serious questions about how such weapons were obtained and used. Prime Minister Albanese promised to take strong action against anti-Semitism and announced that tougher gun laws would be considered, including limits on firearms ownership and regular review of licences.
This afternoon at 4 o'clock, I will put on the agenda of the National Cabinet tougher gun laws, including limits on the number of guns that can be used or licensed by individuals. Quite clearly, the Howard government's gun laws have made an enormous difference in Australia and are a proud moment of reform, quite rightly, achieved across the parliament with bipartisan support. If we need to toughen these up, if there's anything we can do, I'm certainly up for it, and I hope to get National Cabinet on board for that this afternoon as well.
Mass shootings in Australia are very rare, and the Bondi incident is the deadliest the country has witnessed since 1996, when a single gunman killed 35 people in Port Arthur. Crowds have been gathering near the site of the Bondi Beach shooting. Mourners have laid flowers at an impromptu memorial set up near a nearby primary school. many came to pay their respects and stood in solidarity with the Jewish community. Hanukkah is often known as the Jewish Festival of Lights. It's a grim contrast to this dark moment that the world has just witnessed. Australia is mourning the shocking incident, standing together with the victims and their families. The investigation is ongoing and the nation remains vigilant.
They promised glory. They delivered fear. They shaped nations. They scarred generations. From brutal purges to propaganda machines, from stolen power to violent falls from the throne. Welcome to The Dictator, a series that strips away the myth and then exposes the men behind the tyranny. History remembers their power. Firstpost reveals their truth.